Perseverance is the number one most important thing to success. God doesn't put anyone here to skate. I've never seen anyone have an easy life.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of Making a Man. Today, we have Mr. John Hewitt with us, and we're so excited to have him on.
Yes, we are. Thanks, John, for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You have a pretty impressive background, John. I'm going to do the best I can to introduce you here, but John is the co-founder of Jackson Hewitt. He's also the founder of Liberty Tax Service. He really basically created an unfair advantage as an early developer of tax preparation software. And today he is the founder of Loyalty Brands. And Loyalty Brands is a group of franchise businesses designed to help franchisees to succeed both in the short run and over the long run. He's also an author of a book called I Compete. And I think my favorite part about you, John, is that you've helped thousands and thousands of people kind of reach the dream of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And that is probably one of the most impressive things, and an honor to have you on. And what I'd like to do is maybe if you could take us back to when you were Axel's age, when you were 13. Did you ever think you'd be in this position that you are today? And what were your visions back then?
Well, I started as my first entrepreneur venture was a failure. I was 4 years old, and I was on Christmas time. I grew up in upstate New York, and a lot of snow, and I got a $4 sled for Christmas, 1953, and now it'd probably be 400. But I took my $4 sled before noon on Christmas Day next door and sold it for a dime to my next door neighbor.
Oh, no.
So I've been an entrepreneur as long as I can remember, and I guess I've done a lot better since then. But I started out on the wrong foot.
Well, that's how you learn lessons, right? You make some mistakes along the way and you improve.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I did a lot of things. I did. We used to collect. I never heard anyone else do this, but we could go around the neighborhood and collect newspapers, and you could turn in newspapers for like 10 cents a pound or something, and they recycled them. And so I would collect all the papers, and my poor parents had to. I can still see the car with the trunk this close to the ground going to the recycling place every Saturday morning. And I sold Christmas cards and mowed lawns and occasional babysitting. And so I've always been kind of entrepreneurial. Yes.
Yeah. And back to the thing. It's thing before this. I think it's really great to learn stuff when you're young, because I heard that even like with languages, I think like older people, more like adults, I think they have trouble learning new languages. And I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting.
The easiest time to learn is when you're young, and I think that's both nature and by humans tend to get careless, and people have lazy minds in general. I don't think people use their minds properly. You know, they say the average person only uses about 3 or 4% of their brain. And I just think that there's so many lazy brains out there. And lots of times with my employees or my competitors, they just are too lazy to think through the solution.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that. Like sometimes it's just hanging on longer than the next person, and most people aren't willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Well, that's perseverance, and perseverance is the number one most important thing to success. God doesn't put anyone here to skate. I've never seen anyone have an easy life. Everyone has adversity, and the winners always get up and keep going. They got to kill me to stop me.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
We'll go.
Alrighty, yeah. So what would you say is the best advice you could give to a young person like me that wants to own a business when they get older?
Don't. Actually, you got to be very careful, because it's not in everyone's wheelhouse. It's not right for everyone. And 2/3 of Americans think they want to be self-employed, and half of them can't be. They don't have the drive, the risk-taking ability. They're not self-starters. They need someone to tell them what to do. So you got to have get up and go. And so when we look and Kevin, you referred to how many people. I brought in 5,700 franchisees, and about 1,000 of them should never have tried it. They just didn't have what it took. And so when we take people now through a process of determining whether they should join us as a franchisee in one of our systems, first thing we look at is, should you be self-employed? Are you meant to be self-employed?
Is there one characteristic that stands out, or I'm sure there's many,
Yeah.
but is there one attribute that you look at your best franchisees that they have?
It's well, there's best franchisees and there's best entrepreneurs. So those are two different things.
Yeah.
But if you look at an entrepreneur, the best characteristic is in the 10 most important two-letter words. Axel, do you know the 10 most important two-letter words?
No, I don't think I do. I've never even heard of that. No.
If
Could you explain
it
that?
is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. So that's the key characteristic of an entrepreneur. That sometimes, I mean, you can't have excuses. My favorite phrase in the whole world is only losers need excuses. So you got to persevere. You got to drive. So perseverance is critical component, and the knowledge that there's no one else there. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're the CEO, the buck stops here, and you can't give excuses. You gotta get it done.
I love that.
That's great. Yeah.
You want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, no, I'll go.
All right.
So, as of right now, what are you like the most excited to do?
Our mission statement is, and I would encourage everyone to steal our mission statement because it's so great. I've had a number of mission statements over the years, and 35 years ago, it was at Jackson Hewitt. It was winning customers for life. And then at Liberty, we had set the standard, improve each day, and have some fun. But now this is 4 words, and it's incredible. It's having fun, improving lives. And on Monday morning, if you're going to work and you're not looking forward to it, you're going to the wrong place. Thank God it's Friday is not the way to live your life. It's thank God it's Monday. So you're having fun, and there's nothing more rewarding in life than improving the lives of others.
Wow, John,
Wow.
that is, I love that.
You gotta love your job to be
You
able to be good at it. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
John, if you look back on your incredible career, was there any one person that stuck out as one of your greatest mentors? And if so, what did they teach you?
Jesus Christ.
Wow. And you still pull from that today.
I use church. I use biblical things on occasion to run my business. Let me give you an example of one of them. And 40 years ago, I was sitting in church, and the minister said, "Every one of us sins every day." And I said, "Wow!" I was taken aback. I said, "Okay, I do," but he said he does. And the way I use that in business is, it didn't occur to me right away. But 3 months later, I'm driving my car or going on an exercise walk, or it just ding, ding, ding. I had an epiphany. If you're not going to listen to God, are you going to listen to John Hewitt? No. And in our companies, I love the 10 commandments. So we have top 10 principles, top 10 activities to be successful. And I said to myself, well, if none of us are listening to God, then none of us are going to listen to John Hewitt and not follow the principles. And so I realized how I had to put the principles and lead by example and put it on a pedestal to get other people to follow. So I invented a couple of things. Like, one of the things I invented is we have a culture committee at our companies where their job is just to follow the principles. And then I created a pad of paper, And on the paper, every sheet was the list of the 10 principles. And there was a blank where someone's name was, and there was an explanation. And so if someone either violated a principle or another employee, or they followed the principle, you would write their name and you would check the box, and then you'd write what happened. And boy, after years, you would go through around the hallway and see them being taped up to the walls. The employees loved it. Now some employees only liked the ones that were where they did well, but some of them taped up the negative ones too. And I remember at Liberty Tax, we were at a meeting where I was speaking. I had 500 employees, and one of the employees was so happy. His name was Ed Oklovich, and he so happy he brought up a principal violation that he thought I had done, and he was so happy to give it to me in front of 500 people. So you have to beg. I mean, you have to get assistance, and it has to be top of mind. And so many people put policy over principle. And I'll give you an example that here's an example when we hand out one of those issues. And I mistakenly let my CFO make a rule that you could only call a franchisee could only call his accounting department and ask a question between 2 and 4. And at 4:20 one day, long before the internet, this is like 1993, one of his employees gets a call, and it was a franchisee, and she said, "Oh, it's past 4. I can't talk to you," and she hung up the phone. That's a violation of principle, right? You followed the policy, but so what I taught my people is to put principle over policy. When they conflict, like that situation, you don't hang up on a franchisee. I mean, our theme is happy, successful franchisees.
Wow,
That's good.
yeah. So back to the topic, I just want to talk about this real quick. Back to the topic about like church. What would you say is your favorite Bible verse?
Oh, I love the talent story. I love the talent story, where because when I grew up, when I was your age, Axel, and since for many, many years, for 30 years, you sit in church and they'd make it sound like everyone's supposed to be a minister, and everyone's supposed to go out and preach, and of course that can't be true. Someone's got to be a manufacturer and a farmer and all kinds of jobs, right? But I always felt a little guilty. And then one time I was on the finance committee at my church, and I had been missing some meetings because I was so busy in business. I was traveling a lot, and so I saw the chairman of the finance committee at before church on Sunday. I said, "Sorry, I missed the meeting." He said, "You just do what you do best." And so I was the biggest contributor financially to the church because I was so successful in business. And the sermon that day was on that topic. So it was that's my favorite one by far. It gives me the right to do what I do well and not feel guilty that I'm not doing something that I'm not good at.
I love that. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
really good.
So, what would you say are the main reasons that people fail while they're trying to make a business happen?
The main reason, well, it depends. In franchising, it's our job as a franchisor to give you the best system in the universe. And I've been doing that for 56 years. If I do my job, what's your job? Follow that system. I mean, Axel, can you imagine how much more experience I have than you do? And if you bought a franchise and I said, okay, you're going to open at 9 a.m., why would you open at 9:45 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.? I mean, it's proven. We give you proven systems. So you have to follow the proven systems. You have to have great business success. You have to have systemic solutions that you follow.
Yeah, just follow the system. Stick to it. Stick to what works. Don't try to reinvent something. Right? Mm-hmm. John, I love loyalty brands. Actually, you're dealing in a lot of high growth industries: pets, home services, tax, business brokerage. lots of growth in those areas. Kind of a business question for you. Are there any other industries that you like that you'd love to add someday or that you're looking at?
Well, let me tell you what our philosophy is. We have, in my career, my first 50 years, I had just one business. I was with H&R Block, then I was with Jackson Hewitt, then I was with Liberty Tax. And now we have 8 different franchises with 3 different focuses. One is construction and siding and roofing. One is tax and accounting and advisory. But the fastest growing is pets. And we're already in 4 years, we're the largest mobile pet grooming, and our Zoom and Grooming is largest in the country. But we also have a storefront pet business called Salty Dog. We have a waste removal called Cooper Scoopers. And we have a new one that just joined us a month ago called Hike Doggy. So there's a lot of different industries. And I don't have time to go into all of them. So we've decided to focus on those 3. And but we have a company now called Everything Pet. We want to own everything pet. So we're going to test pet insurance and pet sitting and dog walking and everything that you can think of that applies to a dog and a cat.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. I know we're coming close here to our time, and this isn't so much as a question, John, as it is a comment. I got the opportunity to work with some of your folks on your team, and they were absolutely great. Literally, I've never met them, and I can just tell they're fabulous people in the way they communicate. So if you could take that back to them, or hopefully they'll listen to this, and I just wanted to thank them for their grace, and they just seemed like incredible people. So you've surely surrounded yourself with some true winners.
Well, that's why we call it loyalty. I have 20 people that have been with me 24 or more years.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now. It really does. So I was impressed. For what that's worth, I will tell you that. And we so appreciate you being on, John. I know you're very busy, and for you to take time out to talk with us and put some knowledge on us was very helpful and insightful. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Have a wonderful day.
All right. You too. Thanks, John.
Thanks for joining us today on Making a Man. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others. Together, we can keep inspiring and guiding the next generation. Thank you. See you next time.
Oh!